sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to Heat Breakdown. 3 things that are really wrong with the Heat. First, transition defense. They are horrible at it. They can't stop the ball, they can't pick up men, and this is after the Heat make a shot. I can't understand how bad that is, and it's really a lot of effort, and that's a problem that Spoelstra hasn't been able to solve. The second one is that Dwayne Wade never sets a screen. He never sets a screen. It's beyond me, because we all know on the weak side, if you set a screen, you're the most dangerous person. So maybe it's like a porn star who won't do certain stuff, or people who won't do windows. I don't know. But Dwayne Wade doesn't set screens. And the third thing is they can't seem to get Chris Bosh the ball down low on the right block, where he is the most devastating. In the game, he barely even got in that position, much less got the ball. And that's going to kill them, because that is a great place for Chris Bosh to do his damage and get offensive rebounds, and he's not doing it. Let me show you what I saw from the Mavs game on Saturday night, and you see if you agree with me. Problem: the first offensive possession you think would be already called, but here's Arroyo trying to call it again, and here's Ilgauskas being exasperated because they're taking so long to get into it. They want to attack Nowitzki on the post with Ilgauskas, so they send Wade over there, but after he feeds the post, he doesn't cut through right away. By the time he does, it gets in the way of Ilgauskas' move, and he has to throw up a horrible fadeaway. Watch how bad Nowitzki is in the transition defense. He doesn't find a man, doesn't pick him up, and then lets him get a layup.
Now, doesn't this picture look nice?
Okay, this freaks me out. He sounds like Borat. This is very nice. Okay, bye-bye. And here you're going to see Z unable to get the quick, loose rebounds. Here's a bad Dallas possession, which allows Wade to get a block shot in the corner with the shot clock winding down. When Arroyo comes back down, he throws an alley-oop to LBJ, and LBJ completely blows it. In transition, the Heat don't get back in time, and Tyson Chandler can run the floor and get a layup. Here's where LBJ fans get really pissed off, because watch him as Dwayne Wade goes one-on-one and gets nowhere. LBJ is just walking around out there on the weak side. Look at the Heat spacing. There's no way for Wade to penetrate anyway. So now they got to do their typical screen and roll when there's no time on the clock, and Bosh burps up a bad outside jumper. Okay, it's taken them halfway through the first quarter. They finally run a UCLA high post offense and get some movement. And look, there's Chris Bosh posting up down low. The first time all game he's even tried to get down there. And of course, they don't give it to him there, and they throw it away. Watch how bad they are on the weak side here when Dirk Nowitzki simply tries to do a very simple down screen. LeBron comes up, gets too high, and then runs into Bosh, who can't get out on Nowitzki of all people for a wide open jump shot. Does anybody know how bad Shawn Marion is on defense? Look at how he doesn't even find his man and stand still while he goes to the basket. It makes Miami look like they have a good offense. Here's where they have to teach Chris Bosh how to play defense properly. That hedge is way too high, and he doesn't sprint back to get his man, who gets a layup. Wade fans, beware, but he is not in, neither is Bosh. It's just LBJ out there, and they actually run a nice little offensive set. The ball goes side to side, it goes into the post, back out for a 3 in the corner. I'm just saying, the first good team offense is when Wade comes out. All right, folks, the game is now 14 minutes old, and here Chris Bosh will finally get the ball in the low post. The guy is devastating down there. How is that possible? He only gets it there. I'm not going to complain too much about the half-court defense of the Heat, but I will complain about the transition defense. And if you ever thought that Eric Dampier will solve anything out there, here's your answer. Wade hurts his thumb on this play. I haven't heard any reports about anything, but it must have hurt his legs the way he ran the rest of the game. You know your offense sucks when you throw the ball away to Dirk Nowitzki. With this offense, they've relegated Chris Bosh to be simply a screener, and he pops out for jump shots. That's it. He never gets the ball down on the right low block where he's devastating, and he just screens and screens. That's it. Terrible. Watch how good Jason Kidd still is. With a look-away pass, he freezes LeBron and hits Tyson Chandler with a blind pass right in the numbers for a layup. We're into the third quarter, and this is going to be the second time that Chris Bosh gets the ball in the low post. But watch how reluctant he is. He gets the ball there, doesn't even look at the basket, and throws it out. So they give it back to him, but because he's on the left side and not the right, he looks completely uncomfortable. This is Dirk Nowitzki, by the way. He's not a defender, and he makes Bosh take a horrible shot. This is where the wheels fell off for the Miami Heat. They ran a number of horrible offensive sets where it's going to die when it gets to Dwayne Wade, who calls for a screen. He takes a lousy shot, there's nobody rebounding, yet there's nobody back either. Explain this to me, how Wade or anybody doesn't get back to stop that. So the bleeding has happened, Nowitzki makes this crazy weird shot, but I want you to watch something. Look at LeBron James when the shot goes up. Do you see him even take a step to go for the rebound in case it misses? He is just standing there, and this is the problem the Heat have. Out of the timeout, they call a play for LeBron in the post. But watch Butler. He plays perfect defense. They try and hit him in the duck in, but Chandler is there to help as well. And all they have left is LeBron to go one-on-one with no time on the shot clock, a place where he is completely uncomfortable. Spacing is terrible. There's no rebounders. Yet again, nobody gets back either. This is terrible. They're back at it with no offense. It's completely stagnant. There is no screening. There is no movement. And they end up getting an Arroyo 3 in the corner. Oh, by the way, there's Bosch in the post on the right side, but they can't even throw it to him. So here's the bad shot in the corner. And again, guess what? The Mavs are going to race down the court, and LBJ won't pick up his man. Although it's in transition, he still should be right there. Caron Butler gets a wide open 3. Another timeout. At this point in the game, they're getting hammered. You can't give up anything at this point. But here, Wade is not going to close out on the only thing that his man Deshaun Stevenson can do, which is a three-point shot. I can't stand watching so many screen and rolls, particularly when Bosch doesn't even roll the basket. That's not LeBron's fault. There is no urgency on defense. They're getting killed, and yet they don't close out well. They're not trying to stop drivers. And here they come right down to the basket and get a dunk, and they got to call another timeout in the third quarter. So I couldn't take anymore. I couldn't watch this. The Mavs started hammering the Heat all throughout the game. Now, the Heat came back in the fourth quarter and made a little bit of a run, but it was never really a serious threat. And based on what I saw through the first 3 quarters, there was never really a chance they had in that game. The way they're playing now, they're going to beat up on a lot of the sub-500 teams. There's no question. But when they play a top 5 team in either conference, they are going to get beat. There is no hope unless they can change things. And already the rumors are swirling about Spoelstra's job being in jeopardy. And I don't doubt it because it's all out there ready for the change, and they're not making it. And it's not going to get any easier the rest of the season as guys get banged up and as practice time is extremely limited. I just don't see how they're going to be able to implement anything effective that will truly work. I also have to wonder if the Super Friends are really friends anymore, or if they're going to be at each other's throats with all these closed-door meetings after games and screaming and yelling. It's going to be real interesting and a fun ride, and I'm glad you're along with it because don't forget, at Heat Breakdown, it's not a channel, it's a conversation.